Welcome in. This is 300 Yards to Unknown. I'm Rick Gehman. That right there, Eric Patterson, E-Pat. We are planning on talking about the player of the year, but breaking news, literally as we record right now, Bryson DeChambeau is 144 yards away in the middle of the fairway on 18. If he makes a birdie, he shoots a 59. Welcome, and do you think he's going to do it?
So yeah, before I got on here, I said, I think he's going to do it. He's got a approach shot coming. I think he gets it done. And maybe he sprinkles a little bit more salt onto my idea and a few other people's idea that these playoffs are just not hard enough. It's the only sport I think in the world where it looks like it might get easier when the postseason rolls around.
Here we go. He has just made contact from the middle of the fairway. The ball is in the air, and it's long, but he spins it back. This is going to be a really good shot. He might have a tap in. Oh my gosh. Okay.
You were much further ahead than me, but
so he spun it back. Oh, he's giving it the clap. He's giving it the point. He loves it. He's got about, 4 or 5 feet back up the hill to shoot a 59.
Oh, that's going in. 100% that goes in.
I mean, this is
he knows it too.
He is. He knows he's going to make this putt.
Man, oh man.
Bryson
live clean in place. Did you see that tweet from this morning?
No.
About I guess Mark Carnival or one of the commentators was on the grounds and he was explaining why they were doing live clean in place, and in the background you see the grounds crew watering the rough.
Oh no.
It kind of contradicts the if the course is too wet, why are you putting water on it? But
why are you dropping a bunch of water? My goodness. Okay, Bryson's gonna have a look. We'll get to that in just a second. They are tearing this place apart. Is the winning score gonna be 27 under? This is insane.
Bryson's got a 4-footer to get to 17 under, and there's 2 rounds left. And John Rahm's 3 under through 7. Like he could easily be right up by Bryson by the end of the round too. So yeah, this is a mid-20s winning score. Didn't DJ get to something mid-20s at the Northern Trust in Boston last year, but he won by like 11.
He won by 11 though. Yeah, I thought I think he got to 30, and I think Harris English was at 19. So that
sounds right.
That's an outlier, but yeah, this is with what Cantlay's doing, with what Bryson's doing, with what Rahm could do with all the holes ahead of him, and the big thing, as you mentioned, ball in hand. Anytime, it is amazing. Anytime these guys can pick up their ball, clean it, and put it back down, it is just a recipe for low scores.
It really is. I saw Cantlay was, I guess we're just breaking down mid-tournament stats. He's first in strokes gained tee to green, or putting, and losing strokes tee to green.
Yeah.
What the hell's going on here?
He had his single best putting round ever in round 1 by a mile, by like 2 strokes. And yes, he is defying the odds. I think I looked it up. I think only 3 or 4 times has a golfer won an event losing strokes tee to green. So Cantlay trying. I mean, obviously you can get better than that, but we'll see.
Yeah, this is nuts. 6 and 5 strokes gained in 2 rounds of putting. So I mean, I saw you. Maybe we don't like that stock market thing where you can short guys now. That's incredible. Free plug. I've never used it. I wanted to come to Canada, but like shorting dudes is like, you need that in a stock market. So that's exciting. That's an exciting feature.
Yes.
You would just be shorting all the hot putters. That's just like, you're getting giddy over there thinking about it.
Yeah, I mean, it's literally, so it's called Jock Market. And yes, it is the ability to short is it not only makes the market more liquid, but now it means basically you can buy or sell shares of golfers at any point. So like, when you see, hey, I want to target this guy in a matchup for the next round because he's putting outside of his brains, like now you can actually just put your money where your mouth is, short that guy, and see if you can turn that. It's brilliant. I love it. It's brilliant.
Such a fun dynamic to it. Yeah. Before I only saw you guys just, your pre-tournament shares. I guess you could probably do it mid-tournament and then you just cash it at the end. But, predicting guys to do poorly is equally as challenging as I guess doing, or shorting in a way, is equally as challenging as someone who's going to pay off their investment.
Yeah. And the idea of, when you want to buy someone in the middle of an event, you need someone to kind of sell that to you. So this
Right.
kind of makes the market much more liquid as they continue to grow the user base. So yeah, I'm stoked for it. I know it's been coming for like a couple of months, and then finally it went live, and I was stoked. Yeah, because I'd be fading all of these guys who are losing strokes tee to green and gaining strokes putting, like Patrick Cantlay, although he's kind of defying it through so far in round number 2. He's just continuing. He's just going to do this for 4 days and just burn everybody.
That's probably going to be the case. I mean, we need Rahm to make a run, and then you could have a Bryson Cantlay Rahm showdown with maybe Sergio gets in the mix. I think that'll be a fun weekend. Yeah. I mean, this is like the last real event. Next week's kind of a joke. We already know that. So this is this is my finale, if you will. Next week's just way too much going on for me.
You don't like the starting strokes?
I think we talked about that last year.
I'm sure we did.
I'm not a fan. I don't know. It just doesn't do it for me. I'm not as excited as I was maybe a couple of years ago for the playoffs or this run to the FedEx Cup. I'm probably already looking forward to the Ryder Cup. Maybe that's why my attention's already towards that. But yeah, it's doesn't have the juice for me anymore. I don't know. It is what it is. But Bryson here, if he shoots 59, that'll heaten things up.
ShotLink has it at 6 feet 3 inches. It looks shorter than that, but I will trust the lasers. But it looks to me like it's 4.5 feet. 6 feet 3 inches, which is what on the PGA Tour. He's probably 65% to make this, maybe a little bit higher than that.
Uphill, it looks like it goes a little left to right. This is right up his wheelhouse. Doesn't break much. This is in.
I mean, it's got to be like left edge. He's stepping in. He's doing a couple of practice strokes right now.
Live play-by-play on a podcast.
That will come out in 2 days. His putter is behind the ball. Goes back through. He missed it topside. Oh my God. Oh, I feel terrible.
The Bryson, as a non-supporter, I don't mind. He didn't even hit the cup.
He didn't touch the cup.
Oh, part of me is happy. I'm smiling inside. 60s is a great round, but yeah, it's a tough.
I can't wait to hear what he says about that afterwards. He missed it.
That's his thing now. He doesn't talk to the media though.
Oh, that's right. I bet you does today. You want to bet he does today?
Yeah, he probably will. There's not a lot of bad things you can say about that performance.
Wow. He's going back. He's looking at it again. Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, Bryson DeChambeau just shot a 60. Incredible.
Still 12 under. Like, that's a lot. That's deep.
That's so good. Yeah, he was dialed in. Okay. Back to our regularly scheduled programming for today, which is the Player of the Year debate. Now, I strategically wanted to do this before the season was over because I think it's a lot easier at the end of the year where you look and you say, okay, here are the 2, 3, 4 finalists, whatever it is. Let's compare their resumes. We can do that. But with 2 events to go and doing this before the BMW Championship concludes, I think creates some interesting dynamics because if certain golfers win this week, it really changes their odds of becoming the Player of the Year. So I intentionally wanted to do this before the season was up.
So I think we got to start with who are the nominees here. I think it's pretty obvious that Rahm is probably number 1 nominee.
So the front runners, in my opinion, are Colin Morikawa and Jon Rahm. Okay, I think they are the clear tier 1 of contenders. Colin Morikawa has 2 victories, one of them being the Open Championship and one of them being the WGC, right? So 2 big time wins. And then Jon Rahm, who, statistically is number 1 in strokes gained total. He is number 1 on the money list. And I don't know how we're going to deal with the Memorial, EPAT. I guess I give him credit for a win, but he doesn't actually get the win. I don't know, but he's been dominant this summer. And I do think there is a recency bias for guys who are playing well at the end of the year when they go to vote for this.
Yeah. So now the Player of the Year, it's the season though, right? So this goes all the way to September.
Super season, baby. Let's go. 50
Okay.
events.
So if Bryson wins this week, I think his name is now in the hat. And
yes,
I mean, maybe I'm misremembering. Who won last year?
Who won the Player of the Year?
Yeah.
Oh, that would have been really good for me to look up. PGA
Because
Tour
I think
player
it's been
of
recently, it's been like if you win the FedEx Cup, you kind of win the player of the year.
right. So last year, oh my gosh, Wikipedia is redirecting me. Last year,
Goofy
Justin
season.
Thomas won. Does that sound? No, Dustin Johnson won. Sorry. Justin Thomas won
That makes a lot
PGA
more
Player of the
sense.
Year. Dustin Johnson won PGA Tour Player of the Year, which is what we're referring to.
Right. And so DJ won the FedEx Cup, won the PGA Tour Player of the Year.
Yep.
And I think it's been now back-to-back years where the PGA Player of the Year and the PGA Tour Player of the Year have been different.
Which is like the first time in
like since they started doing this. Yeah. And so, but and then Rory won the year before in 2019 and Koepka won the PGA Player of the Year. So correct. We do have this trend where the PGA Tour Player of the Year is whoever wins the FedEx Cup, and the PGA Player of the Year, different thing, but they use a point system. It's someone else. So they're just, obviously the tour is weighing kind of the money and the FedEx Cup a little heavier than other events.
In regards to Morikawa and Rahm, if either of them win the FedEx Cup, they're the player of the year. That's 100%. Very clear, right? Because they're going to add not only another victory, another PGA Tour victory, but it's going to be a big one. It's going to be, it's just if one of those two wins the FedEx Cup, they're absolutely in. If they don't, that's what opens it up. But right now, if you had to choose between Collin Morikawa and Jon Rahm, who is your player of the year?
I still think it's Rahm. I am going to give him a lot more credit for that Memorial withdraw/win. I think that was pretty clear that he was at least going to come, second if something terribly wrong would have had to happen. But the U.S. Open, what else has Rahm won?
That's it. That for this season, it is only the U.S. Open.
Really?
Which is shocking, right?
Rick, I leave my golf writing job for 2 weeks and I completely misremember, what Rahm has won and what he hasn't. But I thought for sure he'd been winning more than that. But I guess you're right. He's just always there. So maybe that is a reason for it. But yeah, BMW Championship was his last win before the U.S. Open. So
yeah, he leads the tour in top tens. He leads the tour in money. He leads the tour in strokes gained total. And Morikawa is sixth in strokes gained, which I think is, for me, enough to say if it ended right now and we don't finish out the BMW Championship, we don't play another round of golf, Jon Rahm is your player of the year, despite only one victory in a 50 event year. That's hard to do.
Yeah. So here's my hypothetical is Rahm comes like top 5 here, comes second or third in the FedEx Cup. I still think Morikawa would take it.
I think you would too, because major championships generally go very, very far in player of the year voting. But Morikawa has struggled a bit towards the end of the season here. He's been much less consistent than Jon Rahm, but I do think that there's a case to be made because of the majors, which is, I don't know if that's right or wrong.
Yeah. I mean, I think the voting people, like who's leading the money list before
it's Rahm.
It's probably Rahm. I know they always, money is such a big thing for the people who vote on this, the players who vote on this. So, I mean,
Rahm and Morikawa are 1 and 2. Rahm's at 7.4. Morikawa's at 7.
It's a great. Man, when you asked me like, come on, talk about the player of the year, I was like, oh, we're just going to talk about how good Rahm's season's been all year. But then now that you talk about like Morikawa has a legit case.
Yeah. But
I still. Yeah, Rahm's just making so much noise right now. Morikawa's at the bottom of the leaderboard. This is not helping his case, and that's how. I mean, Morikawa struggles. Where is he right now in the FedEx Cup? Like top 1, 2. Last week reshuffled things,
and he's gonna drop to. I mean, he's like almost in dead last at the BMW Championship, so he's gonna drop to, I think, 9th projected or 10th, something like that. Yeah.
And then like he has a bad week next week. He could honestly, his FedEx Cup finishing position could be like 25th.
Yeah.
Which that's one of the other things that bothers me is like you have a good season and then you look back, you had one bad week at the Tour Championship and your FedEx Cup standing says that you finished, 25th and you had a worse season than Hudson Swafford. And it's just like, I don't know if that's the case, but so now part of me wants Bryson to win this week just to make that player of the race a 3-man race instead of just this 2-man.
Okay. Yeah. So if we open this up, so that's what I think is so compelling, because there are a ton of guys that if they win this week, they would not only get a second or third win, but they would probably almost certainly move to number 1 in the FedEx Cup standings and give themselves a really good chance. Like there's a really good chance that the guy, whoever it is, wins the BMW championship, also wins the FedEx Cup, the FedEx Cup, because of the staggered start and all of that. So there's a lot of guys that can make noise. Here are the golfers with 2 wins this year. Patrick Cantlay, who is in the mix at the BMW championship. Bryson DeChambeau, of course, leading as we speak. That might not be the case by the end of round 2. Kokrak, who has fallen off a cliff. Stuart Sink, same thing. That's it. Those are the golfers with 2. So there's a scenario, EPAT. Cantlay wins this week. Like, what if he wins this week and finishes 3rd in the FedEx Cup? Could Cantlay be your player of the year?
He could be. I think, honestly, if for Bryson or Cantlay, and I'm actually going to throw Justin Thomas into the mix too. They need to win the FedEx Cup to have a chance. JT's players is almost a little bit forgotten about at this point, but the tour does value that. It would be a long shot just because he hasn't been as consistent, but he would definitely need to, I don't know, pull off a miracle this week, and definitely win the FedEx Cup. But yeah, it's giving that Cantlay win is an asterisk in my opinion. It still doesn't sit right, but.
Yeah, that's true. That's the opposite end of it. Justin Thomas is third on the money list right now. I also forgot Harris English. Harris English has 2 victories. He has the Travelers and the Tournament of Champions. So when you talk, right. I mean, they're not great wins. Now, if he would have won when he coughed up that lead on Sunday a couple of weeks ago, I mean, imagine if Harris English had 3 wins right now.
I think 3 wins is like a guarantee, right? No one has 3 wins.
If you're the only guy to get to 3 wins, does it matter what the 3 wins are?
Man, did anyone clean up 3 wins was Patton Kazire ever a serious contender for the player of the year? Probably not.
Probably not. But I mean, Stuart Sink won RBC Heritage, and he won Safeway. Those are not the greatest 2 wins you've ever seen. But if
I think it does matter.
Okay. So if Stuart Sink's season looked like a win at the RBC Heritage, a win at the Safeway, and then he had gotten one more at, say, he won the Travelers. That's 3 wins.
It's still not better than Morikawa's. Give me the major, give me a WGC, I still think that major just counts as 5 wins in my opinion. It's such a big deal. Sink
is out. Jason Kokrak's out. Kokrak won. What did Kokrak win? Shadow Creek, and what was his?
Colonial.
Okay, he's out. So don't worry about those guys with 2. Bryson with 2. English with 2. Okay, so then you have guys with one win that seemingly need to win either the BMW Championship or the FedEx Cup, which I think you threw Justin Thomas into that mix, right? If JT wins, if he wins this week but doesn't win the FedEx Cup, could you argue JT is the player of the year?
I don't think JT's winning this week. He's 11 back, but yeah.
If he wins, I guess, but if he wins next week, okay, what if he wins next week and he has 2 wins and one's the FedEx Cup?
Yeah, I think there's a case to be made there. I still think this will be the rare scenario maybe where they just don't give the FedEx Cup winner the player of the year honors. Rory's getting into this conversation too. It's crazy. Maybe we're reaching a straw. I don't think Rory's had a player of the year type season. So it's he's right there. He's only, he's 6 shots back. He could get to 5, but a win at Wells Fargo if he wins his second FedEx Cup second FedEx Cup. So he would get his name into the 3rd. Yeah. Okay. He would get his name into the ring, but these majors are such a difference maker.
I think it's a little cheap to have your player of the year be the guy who won the BMW championship, and then because there's so much value on that, win the Fed. If that's it's a cheap way to do it, right? Because basically the BMW championship is almost and you could throw the Northern Trust into that as well. It's like a feeder into the Tour Championship for the starting strokes. And because the points are all jacked up, I actually think these are less valuable wins because they're smaller fields and the Tour is overcompensate for how valuable they are. They're making them way more valuable than they actually are, which to me, when you're deciding on player of the year, actually makes it less valuable. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, you make a good argument. DJ, what did he win last year? He won the Travelers, he won the Northern Trust, and then he won the FedEx Cup. they count the FedEx Cup as a victory now. So, or the Tour Championship as a victory. So they say he has 3 wins, but really he had 1 win, a playoff win, which was juiced up, like you just said. And then he didn't even win the Tour Championship. Schauffele did, but gave, so like, and again, last year was a bit of an odd season with not a lot of tournaments to pick from. And the year Rory won, he had won a bunch of tournaments that year in 2019. He was playing pretty well. I know he had the Canadian Open, maybe a few others, but it's definitely an interesting debate. My order right now, power ranking goes Rahm, Morikawa. Right now, it's got to be Cantlay, Bryson, I think, without knowing the end of this tournament.
Yes. So I think I agree with you. But if Cantlay or Bryson win the BMW championship, so how about this? If Cantlay wins or Bryson wins this week, the BMW championship, if I ask you the same question on Monday, is that guy now the front runner to win the PGA Tour Player of the Year? Because it would be each of their 3rd wins, which nobody would have. It would be a playoff victory. And then, of course,
they'd be the favorite to win the FedEx Cup.
They'd be the favorite to win the FedEx Cup.
Yeah, I think I'd have to give him that nod. 3 wins and a good shot at winning, quote unquote, number 4 at the Tour Championship. That's probably going to do it. I think that's how the voting would shake out. Rahm had a good year, but one win, although it's a major, that's just not. It's actually not enough to usually win the Player of the Year. So it's a tough one. It's an interesting kind of jockeying for position here late in the season.
The Rookie of the Year race is I'm not even sure there is a race. So from what I understand, the guys who would qualify, so I don't think Zalatoris qualifies for this conversation.
I thought he did.
Does he?
I'm pretty sure he's a rookie, but I don't think. I don't. It's a good question. Do you have to have your full tour card to be considered a rookie? I think you can have conditional status to still be. He doesn't even have conditional status. He is,
So Rob Bolton, who's on top of this stuff, right? He does. So I'm reading his rookie watch from a couple of days ago. He defines Rafael Campos as, quote, the only true 2020-2021 PGA Tour rookie on his list here.
I just don't see Campos hoisting the trophy at the end of the year, throwing his names in with the likes of, Sung Jae Im and whoever else has won the Rookie of the Year. That doesn't quite sit well with me. So they might have to bend. Imagine they start bending the rules to award Zalatoris the title, but they couldn't bend him the rules to get him into the FedEx Cup playoffs.
All right, so here's how he defines it. So I think Zalatoris is good here by these metrics. A player's rookie season is defined as the season in which he becomes a PGA Tour member, which includes special temporary members, and plays in 10 or more events as a member, or finishes in the top 125 of the official official FedEx Cup points list, or qualifies as a top 125 non-member, whichever comes first. So by that definition, Will Zalatoris is your Rookie of the Year by a long shot.
Run away. Yeah. Next year's, I'm excited to get like a real rookie race next year where Zalatoris is out and, you get the actual crop of guys coming up from the Korn Ferry Tour. I think now we're like, as next season starts, we can officially, in PGA land, we can officially turn the page on like COVID, which is a really nice thing because we're still kind of feeling the effects of, the 6 major season. And, it's been a long grind since last September. Can't believe it's been a full year of tournaments that they've played to winding down here in next week. So
we called this the super season, 50 events. Next year's 48. So every year is now a super season, right? Is that what we're going with?
48 events next year.
Yeah.
I saw the schedule. I think they rejigged it a little bit, but yeah, there's no chance these guys take weeks off. It's bananas. 48, and they fire it up at not at the Safeway anymore. It's called something else, but at Napa.
Fortinet Championship.
Oh yeah, the Fortnite Championship.
So we get one. I think it's 1 week off, which is Ryder Cup week. And then there is the 5. This is much appreciated for me. The 5 weeks off from whatever the last event is, Mayakoba or something in the fall, until Maui for the Tournament of Champions. But because of those 5 weeks, there's all the alternate field events, for the majors and stuff. So that's how they make it back up to get us to 48 events.
Man, it's non-stop. That's maybe why I bailed on the content world. It's just such a kudos to you. You can keep pumping it out every week. But yeah, the grind that never ends. That is the PGA Tour season. It's yeah, you're not allowed to sleep. You'll miss a week.
How's your new job going?
It's fun, man. It's behind the scenes of how right now how sportsbooks operate, how lines move, how odds are created. Learning so much. There's a lot that goes into like who's betting on games and how they're betting on games and tracking how people bet and trying to figure out their tendencies. It's like a game of cat. It's like a big game of cat and mouse. And I'm on the other side of it now. So it's
are you the
it's
cat
exciting.
or are you the mouse?
It depends. I guess whoever's winning the most money is probably the cat. Yeah.
I guess the cat wins that, right? Of
yes.
Cat versus mouse. Okay. So how are odds created?
Like, well, right now it's not probably as complicated as you might think. There are some books out there that have been doing this for decades that are probably the sharpest in the game. So right now for the score, we currently don't control our own odds, so we use a third-party provider. That's how a lot of sports books who are trying to get up and running quickly do it. They'll pay someone to come in and kind of monitor and set them initially and then go from there. Now we are moving towards having our own in-house sports book and trading platform. So that's exciting. And that's why I kind of jumped ship right as I did, because it is, that's kind of where we're going. And actually today's the first day you can legally bet single event sports in Canada. So huge day for us. The score will be coming in late 2020 to late 2021, hopefully. So we'll get there soon.
Canada, Arizona's coming on board in a couple of weeks. Things are
it's everywhere
happening. So what moves lines? I assume volume, but also I assume a sharp person making a wager on something. Am I on the right track here?
Yes and no. There's definitely sharper customers out there that come in with some big monies, and it depends. It depends if you want to, if you move the line based on that, you could be susceptible to a sharp guy on the other side who comes in on a better number. So you have to be careful. Sometimes you just got to swallow it and be like, we're going to take that action right now at the market price. And if he wins, he wins. If he loses, good on us. So it's a little bit, you got to be willing to gamble a little bit as well. So it's definitely, it's definitely fun learning what goes into it. The golf lines are crazy. I mean, I monitor the golf board pretty frequently. You think I was actually using your site there to check odds, to create odds, to see if our odds are in line. So nice. Kudos to you. Thank you very much.
I'll send you a consulting fee. I'll send you all
maybe I shouldn't have said that out loud. No, but it's interesting to see, as someone who has been doing it, I've been making the clicks on the other side. It's interesting to be on the inside now, seeing how people, I'm like, I'll see bets come in. I'll be like, ooh, I don't know what numbers you're looking at to make that bet. But a lot of people just chase value. So if they see, one book has a guy at minus 120, another book has him at minus 105, they'll just go hammer the minus 105, take that value and move on. They don't really care about the outcome. And that's how a lot of these kind of big sharks make their bets. They don't really look at who's playing or what's going on. They see line value and bet it, which is, it's nuts. But I guess, if you're playing for that much money for an extended period of time, it's eventually going to be profitable.
Right. If you're doing it every day for enough money. Right.
You think I don't want to disclose some of the numbers, but I see some bets come in. I'm like, I thought I used to sweat Keegan Bradley's putts. There's some people out there who are probably sweating these putts way more than you are. It's staggering.
Yeah, I see it. Sometimes we get privy to like the handle stuff and like the big bets that come in on some of these books. And I'm like, who is spending $1,000 on a like 55-1 shot? I that's great, but like, why?
I know. Someone probably had a 45 out there or like a 30 on someone, and they just, that's the name of the game. It's exciting, but like sports betting, it better than anyone. It's taking over pretty much. It's everywhere now. It's so widely accepted that it's going to be like the future of broadcasts, in-game, at arenas. It's like, it's everywhere. You're not going to be able to avoid it.
But even being someone, obviously I enjoy it and obviously I want to see more of it, but like it makes sense, right? The idea that whether you like it or not, a lot of people watch sporting events either because they have action on it or they want something to root for. And if it's two teams that they're not interested in, there's a very easy way to have a rooting interest. And it's called putting $10 on it, right? That's all people put $10 because they want to have a side to root for. So making it easy, like I think that, I don't think there's a whole bunch of catering to the sharpest people in the world, but just seeing the odds and seeing it update and having people understand what that means, like it makes sense.
I think it adds this is like a general sports conversation, but like it adds like a layer of what is going on in the game to the general sports viewer. They might see a score. Like, I mean, I was tracking like F1 racing with my wife. We just started watching that. And like, you'll see the guy winning the race, but like he's not he's like one of the third or fourth underdogs to actually end up winning the race. And like that happens all the time in football, basketball. Like just because a team's leading, like on the scoreboard, it says one thing, the odds might not. They might be saying something else. So it adds a layer of like intrigue, or it tells a better story, I think you could say, than just watching the scoreboard. And golf, we know that in golf, like a guy could be have a few shot lead, but he might not hold on until till Sunday. So
there's no clock in golf that you can just run out when things are going your way. Unfortunately, ask the 14 54-hole leaders in a row who have been unable to close it out.
Is that what it is?
Phil Mickelson, the PGA Championship was the last one.
Wow. I've been on the bad side of a few of them recently.
The guy who should not have closed it out is the last one who's closed it out.
Yeah. That Harris English one was tough to swallow. The Henley one was tough to swallow.
Back-to-back weeks. That was tough.
There was another one before that. Yeah. It's truthfully, this summer's kind of ripped by. I haven't been fully locked into golf, but that Harris English one stung too, because it was like a bunch of like little paper cuts and just slow bleed.
And you saw it coming the whole time. You saw it. It's like here it comes. Slow-mo car wreck right now.
That was the WGC, right? Answer won it.
No.
Yeah. I think it was.
Wait, is that Answer's win? Oh, you know what?
Yeah, St. Jude. Right. St. Jude.
Right. Oh, sorry. I keep forgetting that's the WGC now. That's what threw me off.
Oh, yeah. I'm happy we've seen, Answer win recently, Fina win recently. I know one's coming for Fleetwood soon. It has to come for Fleetwood soon.
So who's next? Who's the guy who needs it? I mean, Scheffler, is he the best guy without a win? Fleetwood?
Yeah, I was talking this when I played golf with Jeff. We were talking about this. Like, it's unfair to throw. In my opinion, it's unfair to throw Scheffler in that mix right now. Give him another year, sure, but like
he's young. Yeah.
What is he? 2 years on tour now, so it's
and one of them we lost 91 days of.
He's been there in majors. Scheffler's definitely the next guy up, but like there's not a lot of pressure on him right now to come through with a victory. But I think that's definitely going to be coming soon. Yeah, I don't know. Okay. Fleetwood might be the next guy, but he doesn't have a tour card anymore, so he might be have to go win some of those Omega Masters to get his confidence back up.
All right, Pat. Well, geez, we did a live watch of Bryson going for 59. We talked about the player of the year. We did a little sports book. I think we covered the gamut today, brother. I'm
quite the catch up after 2 months of not chatting. But yeah, thank you for having me. I thought you'd forgotten about me for a little bit. I was like, okay, Rick, that's fine. I'm in a new role. Rick just wants a fresh face, a different voice. That's okay with me. But I'm happy to have received that text message.
No, I knew you were moving. I knew you had a lot going on, and I just kind of said, "All right, I'll circle back with EPAT soon." And then somebody asked me on a live chat the other day, they're like, "When's EPAT coming on?" And I was like, "You know what? I owe EPAT an apology because like I gotta reach out to him." And
that was my burner account.
That's so good. All right, brother. Well, much appreciated. You can follow Eric on Twitter at EPATGolf. You can follow me at RickRunGood. This has been 300 Yards to Unknown, and we'll catch you next time.